Winter is officially over, and people all over are welcoming the warmer weather by blasting down their favorite roads with a smile on their face and the wind in their hair. But you know something? They're not all driving convertibles. Many are riding scooters. Scooters are a favorite form of transportation from England to Thailand. But when you talk about scooters, you're talking about one brand in particular, a stylish little Italian machine that we haven't seen in American showrooms for a decade. But as FYI reporter Jennifer Kaznavas is about to show us, it could be on its way back to U.S. roads.
In the early 1980s, Piaggio, manufacturer of Vespa, stopped selling their Italian scooters in the U.S. But for the year 2000, they're making a comeback.
Piaggio says this year will be the year Vespas come back to the American market, and it's been long awaited. Why? Well, because Vespas are not just scooters, they're a lifestyle. The Vespa dates back to 1946. The idea, a low-cost, comfortable, less cumbersome mode of transportation. Vespas became more of a fashion statement in the 60s, when they were linked mostly with the mod era. But in the 80s, Piaggio ran into some trouble meeting EPA regulations in the States, so they closed up shop in the U.S. But that didn't stop the scooter savvy. 54 years later, and Vespas are still as trendy as ever. Mark Juris can back that up. He is owner of Motostrada, one of the only scooter shops in Baltimore, Maryland, which specializes in service, sales, and restoration of vintage Vespas.
I had an interest in the Vespas because I saw them in Boulder, Colorado, where I lived, and I had been back there visiting my girlfriend, and where I picked one up alongside a building and shipped it back. And as I began, it was more of an interest than as a hobby, and one thing led to another, and at one point it just became a business where I really did need to separate it from a hobby aspect and create a business.
And just to give you an idea how much the Vespa craze caught on, Mark used to operate out of this old garage. But over the years, his business began to boom. So this past year, Mark picked up and moved to a brand new location just around the corner. This is where you will find Mark Juris Monday through Saturday.
More and more people are thinking about fun, affordable transportation, and the Vespa motor scooter is not just a motor scooter, it's a style and a design, and people from all walks of life are fascinated from it, from the 18-year-old to the 60-year-old who had it when he was younger. And having shops out there to support them and service them is a big plus.
It is a plus because Vespas stand apart from other scooters hands down. The sexy design and curves make them real eye-catchers.
The reason I headed in the direction towards a motor scooter was a little more user-friendly. The curves on the Vespas are just beautiful, and that's what really attracted me to the motor scooter. It was just beautiful lines and beautiful design, and it was very appealing. And more so than a sport bike, it just was not as intimidating, which I liked.
But remember, there is a whole different aspect to owning a Vespa. You might just call it stylish fun. In his spare time, Mark gets together with his scooter sidekicks. They call themselves the Baltimore Bombers, and anyone who has the love of this style and vehicle can join in.
It all kind of comes down to a love affair, and everyone involved has a love for their motor scooter. It's nothing like getting on anything two wheels and having just the worst day at work and just going home on two wheels and just smelling, the different smells in the air and hitting the different air pockets. It changes your whole perspective on the day. It's just great. That's the best thing about being on two wheels, I think.
Mark Juris will tell you, as will anyone who has fallen under the spell of the vintage Vespa style, it's an addiction which will last forever.